So the other day I was cruising on the internet, doing my Twitter thing, and I decided I may as well go take a gander at a couple of different feminist tweets and Twitter handles just to see what they were talking about. And I stumbled upon Hannah Witton's tweet, and I saw something that I thought was interesting. Um, Tweet one here. She tweeted, "Male contraception trial halted because some of the men couldn't handle the common side effects women already deal with." Now, my immediate thought was, well, don't you think that's a bit reasonable? You know. Now here's the thing. Even though this is text, I could sense the snide remark coming from her as she typed those words and released them onto the internet. I knew it was a jab at men, and obviously I could see that there was an article down there. But before we get to the article, I want to continue to say I saw her next tweet, which I thought just only made me laugh. And it was, "I just had a vision of my ideal future relationship. My partner and I take turns every 3 months to get the contraception injection. Hashtag equality." And I just laughed. I laughed. I was like, you have such a strong desire for this faux pas equality or this forced fix equality that you'll even drag your relationship into this bullcrap. Instead of accepting the person who it is, you just gotta force equal. We gotta be equal on the books everywhere. I imagine she would also, mow the lawn half the time as well. She would also fix the car half the time too. And I bet you if they live in a two-story house and they hear, some loud noises, half of the time she's gonna go down there and try to see if there's an intruder in the house and fight them off. I imagine, equality, guys. Now I'm taking snide jabs because I just think this forced equality is just stupid, but we're not here for that today. Today, I'm going to go over the article that I saw Hannah Witten retweeted. And that article was a bit of a doozy. So stay tuned, guys. Laughs are about to ensue. So the article's titled, "Yes, Contraceptives Have Side Effects, and It's Time for Men to Put Up With Them Too." And again, this kind of struck me as odd because I would imagine the reasonable mind would stop and say, I don't really think I want to deal with those whole side effect things, so I'm not going to take X drug. But again, that's just the reasonable mind. Um, the subtitle is, "Apparently women can have such ailments as depression and acne thrust upon them for the greater good of preventing an unwanted pregnancy, but the same level of discomfort cannot be expected of men." And obviously this is written by a woman, Anna Rhodes, and it was shared 408,000 times. So obviously, this article has to be, the bastion of intellectual forethought and self-reflection, obviously, right? The finding that the latest version of the injected male contraceptive is now very effective is fantastic news. In a trial of 320 men, researchers found that over a 1-year period, it was 96% effective in preventing pregnancy. A spokesperson for the World Health Organization said, "The study found it is possible to have a hormonal contraceptive for men that reduces the risk of unplanned pregnancies in the partners of men who use it." I found that to be completely interesting because I just kind of figured not having sex with women you don't want children with is a 100% effective method to avoid unwanted pregnancies. Oh, but that whole have sex with people that you like thing, what even is that? You can't do that. But the trial of the drug has already been halted because just 20 of the men, out of 320, don't forget, found the side effect of the injection intolerable, and it was decided that more research needed to be done to try and counteract them, which again, you would find that to be reasonable if you want people to buy your product. Those side effects included depression, muscle pain, mood swings, acne, and changes to the libido, which you would find to be some serious side effects if your intentions is to continuously have sex without wanting to get someone pregnant. Uh, well, you would think. I don't know, you don't want to be really depressed, or actually you don't want any of those side effects. Well, acne, you can have sex while you have acne, but everything else, you think that'd be a little detrimental to that whole trying to have sex thing? Well, you would think. And also, I find this to be interesting. We are dealing with a pretty small sample size as it is. Of course, the person is trying to be snide here by saying 20 men had a problem out of 320. But I mean, again, it's pretty small. And what we don't know is that if we took 1,000 men, if 500 of them would all of a sudden have those side effects. We don't know. It's a small sample size, and more accurately, more than likely, that wouldn't be the case. But again, we don't know. We've only got a small sample of men. We don't have a large enough size to represent people. I don't even know where these men even came from, and that might play a factor. I don't know. But honestly, I find this to just be perfect male behavior. They did a cost-benefit analysis and said to themselves, I don't think I want to deal with these side effects. So, I mean, either I won't take the product or, maybe take it back to formula. Let's see if we can, fix it. Again, you think that just be reasonable. I mean, one of the reasons why I don't take Tylenol or most medication is because I don't like the side effects. I don't even want to try it. I remember one time when I was a kid, when I was like 14, I read a bottle of Tylenol, and one of the side effects, I'll never forget this, said, may induce stomach bleeding. I put that shit right back on the top of the refrigerator and just dealt with the headache. I was like, I didn't, and look, again, the chances are, I mean, I actually, pretty ironically, I ended up actually taking Tylenol 2 years later and didn't even fucking do anything. So even, yeah, it didn't induce any stomach bleeding. I didn't want to deal with the side effects. I didn't like them. Again, I did a cost-benefit analysis and was like, nah, I'm good. And again, that just seems to be some typical male behavior to me. And even in typical, you only had 20 men who stopped and said, nah. So, let's just go ahead and continue reading the article. Do any of those side effects sound familiar? Oh yes, they're the minor side effects of the combined pill used by 48% of women aged 16 to 19. Wow, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know where this research was studied, but I mean, half of breeding age women aren't having children. I mean, to be fair, I don't really think 16-year-olds should be having children, but I do still find it to be interesting that half of the population of women have effectively rendered their uteruses useless. Oh, that's offensive. Lots of people are going to be offended by that. I'm just pointing things. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I just find it interesting. 64% of women aged between 20 and 24. Well, now, okay, now that's really fucking weird. Okay, and a majority, 55% of those aged between 25 and 29. So consistently, we're only finding half of the population of women are actually able to reproduce. Does that not strike anybody as weird, as a little strange that you would? I mean, then again, there are some people who are afraid of overpopulation. And so they probably won't find it odd. But I do find it interesting that half of the women, I mean, consistently, and in the age group of people that should actually be breeding, aren't. But okay, whatever. How sad for these poor men. They couldn't handle the side effects that so many women have to deal with every day just to avoid an unwanted pregnancy. Now, of course, these women could just, I don't know, not have sex or use a female condom or anything like that. No, they absolutely had to deal with these side effects, even though they don't. Women have had to bear the responsibility of contraception since the pill was first launched in 1962. No, they didn't. That's stupid. You think men want to be beholden to a woman that they don't like for the next 18 years, giving her money to pay for a child she's probably not actually going to use that money to pay for? I mean, contraceptive responsibility was just something people did. It was a people thing, not a woman thing. No, but of course, you got to put all the focus on women because how else are you going to make it seem like it's a problem? All of the side effects that go along with it. Now, see, that's something interesting to me. I mean, women don't have to do this. I mean, there are other forms of contraceptives now as it stands. I mean, later on this very webpage, they go into detail and show it off. There's so many other ways women can avoid getting pregnant, one of which is not having sex with random fucking people. Who would have thought that was a thing? Wearing condoms is another thing. You even have a plan B. You don't have to do this. This is an option. If you want to avoid an unwanted pregnancy, well, you would think the idea would be to not have sex with people you don't want children with, but that makes way too much sense. So we got to make things complicated, like changing the fucking chemical organization of your body. And of course, this isn't talking about the women that have medical problems and need to take birth control. I don't remember any specific ailments. I know my ex-girlfriend, there was some reason why she had to take birth control, even though she was a virgin. There was something about her hormonally. I don't remember what it was. And there's another friend of mine who had to take birth control, and she couldn't have children at all. There was something wrong with her uterus, and I don't mean that facetiously. I do mean it. I just don't remember what the ailment was, unfortunately. So I know there are some women that take it out of necessity, probably to help them regulate their hormones or whatever those problems are. I was really more talking about the recreational users, the one who are using it, well, obviously to be promiscuous, because if you were just having sex with one person, you think you would want to have children with them, but I guess not. When it comes to contraception, medicine is clearly biased towards men. Now, I'm not even entirely sure what that statement means. I don't know if she means that it's biased towards men because men don't have to regularly induce some pill in order to fuck up with the natural chemistry of their bodies to prevent a perfectly normal function. Maybe that's what she means. If she means that a bunch of medicine really helps men, I mean, I don't think that's true. I think it's pretty balanced. I haven't heard of any mystical magical pill that only helps men be healthy, so Women can have such ailments as depression and acne thrust upon them for the greater good of preventing an unwanted pregnancy. No, they don't. They don't have to do this. They don't. No one's forcing women to do this. There are other forms of contraceptives, one of which is not having sex, but they choose to. Apparently, women think that it's okay to be depressed and have acne if it means they get to have as much sex as they want. They did the cost-benefit analysis and said, okay, it's worth it. You can't then take that as a stick to beat men who don't want to deal with that and say, you're not doing your job, men. Are you kidding me? It's like, if men are like, I don't want to do it, then they want to do it. I mean, again, you think that just be reasonable, but I guess not. But the same level of discomfort cannot be expected of men. Researchers are now going to spend millions trying to alter this medication so that the side effects are lessened. Which, again, you honestly think that would have just been something that women would have done from the start. You would have think that from the beginning, when the birth control pill originally came into being, guess what? Women would have been like, nah, I don't really like these side effects. But no, see, the thing that I find interesting, what was more important to women at the time was the fact that they, in air quotes, could control their reproduction, which is a strange thing to me, as a bit of a tangent, because, well, men have to prove themselves worthy to date women to begin with. Women can choose who they want to have sex with to begin with. This nonsense that women could not control their bodies or their reproduction is just that. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. I mean, to tell me that the individuals who control who will reproduce don't control who will reproduce is stupid. It's just dumb. I mean, women didn't need contraceptives in order to finally be able to control their uterus. They already could. They already could choose who they were going to get married to, or if they were going to have children at all. I mean, so this is very unreasonable to me. That it was the pill that finally gave women this control over their bodies, not the fact that they already controlled their bodies. Only 20 of the men surveyed said that they couldn't handle the side effects. More than 75% said that they would happily use the contraception. Because 20% weren't happy, the entire trial has been halted. Which, again, is pretty good in order to create a better medicine, a medicine that people would want to use. You take it back to formula and you try to fix it. You try to solve it. Trial and error. Okay? Now, yeah, sure, small as only 20 men in this population, but we don't know. What would it be like if we took 1,000 men? I mean, 200 men, that's a little something, come on. Let's review this in context. One of the most dangerous risks to women of taking the combined pill is the increased risk of deep vein thrombosis, DVT, which can be fatal. Wait a minute, what? You mean in your quest to avoid creating life, you can end your own? Huh, who would have thought? It affects 2 in 10,000 women, which you think is a reasonable thing to put on there because I might be one of those 2 women, and I don't really feel like dying. So you think you might want to, fix that whole thing? I mean, statistically speaking, you may not be one of those 2 women, but if you are one of those 2 women that who could die potentially from birth control, don't you think it'd be reasonable to say, I don't really feel like that whole ending my life thing is conducive to that whole, living thing. So maybe you might want to take this back to formula and fix it. No, women didn't say that. Women did not ask for a better birth control. Instead, they're like, no, okay, I'll deal with maybe possibly dying. Nah. And again, of course, a lot of people are going to, statistically speaking, there's us. Only 2 in 10,000 women might. Okay, if you were one of those 2 in 10,000 women, don't you think you would have liked, I don't know, a reduction in that possibility? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Young women's lives have been cut short because they were taking the pill. And you didn't think that that was a reasonable thing to say, hey, let's take this back to formula and maybe do something about this? The advice from the regulatory agency? The benefits outweigh the risks. Well, not to me. I say fuck that. I would say fuck that. There is also an increased risk of breast cancer. 1 in 8 women get breast cancer. Really? Okay, now guys, statistically, we were talking about 2 in 10,000. Now we're talking about 1 in 8. Is it really worth it? Come on. Is half the population being doped up on birth control? Is it? I mean, I don't know, ladies. That's your battle, ladies. Shit, I ain't gotta worry about that. And it is responsible for 31 deaths in Britain every day. Then there's a higher chance of getting cervical cancer or having stroke, not to mention mood swings, cramps, sore breasts, headaches, migraines, weight gain, heavy and painful periods, no periods at all, bleeding every single day, known spotting. Do I need to go on? No, I think you're putting a very effective and convincing case that women as a whole aren't very intelligent creatures. Instead of asking for birth control to be better, they said, no, I'm going to play with my life. No, I'm just, instead of asking for a better product, no, I'm just going to keep taking it. And, if my life gets cut short from this, yeah, at least I didn't have any children. I mean, seriously, I don't understand what case you're trying to put forth here. You're just making the case that women as a whole just aren't intelligent. That women as a whole didn't say, look, I don't like the risk, so I'm not going to take this product. Instead, women said, yeah, I'll take it. I mean, I'm just saying. The risks of the combined pill are numerous, and taking it is not a pleasant thing. And why do you do it? I know, because you don't want to reproduce. Okay. But women have taken this burden on for more than 50 years to allow their relationships to develop without the risk of pregnancy. Or, in other words, to defeat the entire purpose of having a relationship to begin with, since the idea is really to find an individual of whom you could copulate with, but no, they just do it because it's fun, I guess? I don't know. It is offensive and inconsiderate that researchers are halting a major trial of male contraceptives because of a few minor, yes, they are minor, and if you're a woman complaining about them, then what's your GP will most certainly tell you? Side effects. It's offensive. What is offensive? What? How's it? I find it interesting. Isn't it amazing how somehow a problem for men is still a problem for women? a problem for men is still offensive to women. Amazing how that works. It's like everything in the world just affects women more. The sky could fall tomorrow and women would be affected more. Goodness gracious. It's offensive. She wrote those words down. I didn't put those words in her mouth. She was the one who said it is offensive that men said, I don't want to deal with these side effects, so I'm not going to take this product anymore. But women, on the other hand, are like, nah, I'm going to take this product at the risk of my own life because I don't know. I mean, seriously, I mean, I find it amazing that birth control has all these different side effects, and women still take it. Half the population, well, half the women surveyed at least, still take it. I mean, I don't know about that. That doesn't strike me as the decision of the most intelligent of people, but okay. I don't blame the men who dropped out of the trial for doing so. I blame the medical establishment for treating women like cattle who can deal with the risk of cancer and blood clots to avoid the world being populated by unwanted babies, yet aren't willing to let men suffer even a slight headache to the same end. If we already have a birth control pill that works, and women aren't asking for a better birth control pill, in fact, this entire article you have yet to say maybe we should take the birth control back to formula and fix those problems. If we already have women willing to suffer, well then what logical sense would it make to then put that on to men who don't want to suffer? Oh wait. Oh wait, it doesn't make any sense? Yeah, I didn't think that it did. Your article doesn't make sense, lady. Alright, we've only got 2 more paragraphs left. Let's go ahead and rapid fire this thing out. For women, the alternatives to the combined pill are not so much better. The mini pill doesn't provide as much of a risk as it isn't jam-packed with estrogen, yet you can end up with irregular bleeding or no periods at all. Unnerving for many, especially when you're trying to avoid an unplanned pregnancy. The depot injection is renowned for irregular bleeding. Some people bleed every single day on it, and it cannot be reversed. If its side effects are intolerable, you just have to sit it out for 3 months. Well, you picked it. Look, you picked it. The implant is also renowned for its disruption to the menstrual cycle. Plus, you have to have a stick jammed in your arm. Let's not even start on the coil. A bit of copper shoved into your uterus through your vaginal and cervix without any pain or relief, anyone? I mean, see, here's the thing that's getting me. Something interesting about human beings as a whole. The lengths we go through in order to deny a natural function of our bodies is astounding. And then people are shocked or confused when there are unnerving side effects to these products that fuck with our natural bodily functions. I mean, not even shocked. But now a woman is using all of these side effects as a stick to beat men over the head with in order to convince them that they too should be a bunch of dummies and deal with a bunch of side effects that they don't want to deal with. Astounding. It's enough to make you consider that remaining celibate. Yeah. Yeah, that's you could do that. You could do that and wait for an individual of whom you want to have children with, or not have sex with a bunch of people at all. Or even having a child could be a viable option. Yeah, I mean, I think people should have children and raise them well. People should have children that they want to have. I don't think the alternative then is to fuck with your body's composition in order to avoid that end. I think being intelligent about it is the best way to go. Halting of the male contraceptive trial is not justified. Nah, it is. It is. And you're just, I've called women stupid in this article, but it's not women. I mean, it's half of the population of women or women studied in those surveys. But even then, stupid's not really the word. It seems they're more satisfied with their emotional justifiability. Their emotional satisfaction is more important to them than their bodily integrity. Or not having a child is more important to them than severely messing up the compositions of their own body. So, I mean, but to pretend that this is thrust upon women, to pretend that women are forced to do this is nonsensical. They're not forced. They chose to do it. Unless the researchers provide evidence that this injection increases the risk of death, cancer, or any side effect with a disproportionately higher risk than forms of contraception pills of women are already using, they are courting controversy. Hardly. You are. I've never been of the school of thought that science is biased against women. That's because it would be fucking stupid. That's why. Okay, I have to take that back. If you're about to say that science is biased against women, you really are fucking stupid. Okay, unless you want to say the natural world is biased against women, which even then makes you even dumber. Usually, I'm the one defending it. But this is taking the piss. Really. This is really. I stand corrected, gentlemen and ladies. She really is a bit slow in the head. The whole of science is biased against women because, I don't know, reality? Women make up half the population in this country and half the partnership responsibility for every unplanned child. And it's time someone gave us a break when it comes to contraceptives. Contraception. It's like, no, it's not. This is a choice. You choose to do this. Forcing men to take a product they don't want to take, or to feel justified, or to feel balanced, or to fix equality. You give some equality. Is bullcrap. No one should have to deal with side effects or any type of damage to their bodies in order for this emotional satisfaction. I mean, again, people, we're talking about the integrity of your bodies at risk here. And men say, and some men don't want to, I mean, for the vast majority of men, well, 300, said they would do it. But other men are saying they don't want to. And if these scientists are like, okay, well, let's fix this product, let's make it better, women should have asked for the same thing. But they didn't. Instead, they got the birth control pill and put up with all the side effects for their emotional satisfaction. And this actually seems to be a thing that happens with women consistently. People say, once is all right, twice is a coincidence, 3 times a pattern. Well, I think we can go 3 for 3 here. We've got our once here with birth control. We can talk about Edward Bernays selling cigarettes or promoting cigarettes as freedom sticks to women in the suffragette movement. In order to increase the sales of cigarettes, women put their bodies at risk of lung cancer in order to feel empowered, in order to feel liberated. That's okay. That's two. That's a coincidence. But again, I think we can go 3 for 3 because Till Deer made a long series of, I wouldn't say long, but a couple of videos about this female Viagra in quotation. I don't remember what it's called, but what it was supposed to do was it was supposed to increase female pleasure during sex. Now the interesting thing is it didn't fucking work. It didn't work as described. It had many different side effects. One side effect I can remember at the top of my head was it would straight put you to sleep. Another thing I can remember at the top of my head was it didn't even increase the sexual pleasure of the vast majority. Only a small fraction of women who even took the so-called female Viagra pill actually, had a better sexual experience. And I think that thing was like in the single digits, if I remember correctly. Not a lot. And yet, despite the fact that this thing didn't even work the way it was supposed to, you had a bunch of feminists create articles, they petitions. You had women create commercials in order to push this product out onto the market, this unready, unsafe product for women out to the market in order to feel equal to men, because men had Viagra. When strange enough, Viagra didn't mess with the body's chemistry. I think all it really does is just increases blood flow to the penis. I actually don't even think Viagra increases sexual. I could be wrong here, but I don't think Viagra does. I think it just increases blood flow to the penis. I don't think it increases your sexual pleasure. That said, though, I mean, again, we're 3 for 3. Instead of having a product that increases your body composition, instead of making you healthy, and in order to feel emotionally satisfied, women just automatically took to these products, And which I guess it isn't so much that women are stupid, but it seems that a huge fraction of women would rather feel justified or feel good or feel liberated than feel healthy. And honestly, that just doesn't sound very reasonable to me. So that being said, man, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click that like button. Yeah, shoot, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comments below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.